Dust rose slow on a blood-red sky, buzzards circling low and high, boom prints carved in broken shale down the devil's shadow trail. 6 long miles from town to sin, with a hollow heart and a weathered grin. Sun went down like a dying flame, and the night called out my name. Every crossroad I have found turns to cursed and sacred ground. I've been walking the devil's shadow trail, where the righteous bend and the sinners fail. Every step leaves a deeper mark in the cold, unholy dark. No compass pointing to heaven's veil, no prayer that tips the scale, just a soul that's worn and pale on the devil's shadow trail. He was my brother, blood and bone, swore we'd never ride alone. Gold dust deal and a handshake lie, one man lived and one did die. Sheriff's star in the fading light glinted hard that endless night. I felt the barrel, heard the hail on the devil's shadow trail. Wind don't care who's wrong or right, it just howls through the fight. I've been running the devil's shadow trail with a story too dark to tell. Every memory burns like coal in the chamber of my soul. No whiskey strong enough to quell, no mercy left to sell, just a tolling funeral bell on the devil's shadow trail. If I lay this gun to rest, will it ease the pounding in my chest? If I face what I betrayed, will the debt be finally paid? Some men kneel, some men wail, some get lost on this shadow trail. I'm still walking the devil's shadow trail tonight, under a moon that won't shine bright. Every breath of borrowed grace, every ghost I can't erase. No dawn to tip the scale, no story without a veil, just fate with a rusting nail on the devil's shadow trail. Dust settles slow, cold winds blow, footsteps where the lost ones go. One last ride, one last hail, devil's shadow trail.
She was born where the river bends, in a house that never meant. White dress hanging on a nail, dreams as thin as a paper veil. Sunday choir in trembling hands, preacher spoke of promised lands, but Mercy's eyes would drift away toward the highway's silver gray. They said her name was heaven sent, but heaven never paid her rent. This is the ballad of lost Mercy. Fell from grace at 17. Every promise carved in stone turned to dust. She walked alone, no angel left to guide her feet. Just burning asphalt and summer heat. A small town judge and no attorney. In the ballad of lost Mercy. He wore boots and a gambler's grin, smelled like smoke and easy sin. Said, girl, the world is wide and free. She believed what she could see. 2 months later, broken, bruised, love had turned to something used. One cold night outside a bar, blood ran dark beneath the stars. They found him face down in the rain. Mercy swore she felt no pain. This is the ballad of lost Mercy. Truth ain't always what it seems. Every whisper in that hall built her up just to let her fall. No jury blind, no mercy shown, just a verdict carved in stone. A fading prayer, a prison gurney. In the ballad of lost Mercy. Did she push or did she flee? Was it him or destiny? If a girl defends her soul, does that make her less than whole? Some hearts crack, some hearts bleed, some just answer what they need. Hear the ballad of lost Mercy, still echoing through the pines. Every chain that held her down rattles in the midnight town. No grave marked with her name, no hymn to clear her blame. Just a legend dark and thorny, the ballad of lost Mercy. Wind blows thin, living. One last plea, one last plea. Mercy.
Down where the cypress shadows lean, where the water swallows what it seemed, moonlight cuts like a rusted shank on the Devil's River bank. Frogs go silent when boots step near, night holds tight what we fear. Mud remembers every name, whispered low in sin and shame. River don't judge, river don't speak, but it keeps what the guilty seek. On the Devil's River bank tonight, we buried wrong and called it right. Every shovel full of dirt couldn't hide the living hurt. No star brave enough to blink, no stone too heavy to sink. Truth rides low and hearts I'd rank on the Devil's River bank. He said she'd leave, she knew too much, felt like fire at his touch. Words turned sharp, temper swore, then came the sound we can't ignore. Crickets screamed and the river rose, carrying off what heaven knows. We washed our hands in black and tide, but you can't wash what lives inside. Hearing hums like a preacher's cry, saying some things never die. On the Devil's River bank again, ghosts walk slow where we have been. Every ripple in the dark feels like her returning spark. No prayer carved in river sand, no mercy in a trembling hand, just blood beneath the plank on the Devil's River bank. If the flood comes in the spring, will it lift what we did bring? If the truth floats to the shore, will we stand like men once more? Some deaths fade, some hearts break, some sins rise when waters wake. On the Devil's River bank at dawn, where the brave and blind are drawn, every secret left to rot in a shallow, cursed plot. No absolution left to thank, no courage left in the rank, just the echo of a blank on the Devil's River bank. Water sighs, fog will rise, moon retreats from guilty eyes. One last breath, one last sank. Devil's Riverbank. She came to town on a midnight train with a cardboard suitcase and a pocket of paint. Boots worn thin from a long disgrace, and a storm behind her name was grace. Neon lights and a barroom band, whiskey shaking in her hand. Men leaned close but kept their space from the quiet eyes of Dusty Grace. They said trouble wore her face, but sorrow held her in its embrace. This is a ballad of Dusty Grace, lipstick red and a pale, pale face. Every promise turned to smoke, every vow she ever broke. No white veil, no saving place, just a small town trial she couldn't face. She left her tears on a pillowcase. The Ballad of Dusty Grace. Sheriff's son with a reckless grin thought he'd be the one to win, but love don't bloom in hardened ground, not when ghosts keep hanging round. There was a fire 5 years before, and a body by a motel door. They never proved, but they still say Grace ran fast the night away. Truth gets twisted in a town that's small, where whispers echo down the hall. This is the Ballad of Dusty Grace, dancing slow in a lonely place. Every rumor left a scar, every glance from the bar. No mercy in that courthouse space, no kindness in a familiar face. She wore her past like cheap black lace. The Ballad of Dusty Grace. If she struck the match that night, was it fear or self-defense she'd fight? If she ran beneath that moon, was she fleeing death too soon? Some hearts break, some hearts chase, some just vanish without a trace. Hear the Ballad of Dusty Grace, riding north without a trace. No goodbye, no forward plan, just a desert and an old sedan. By sunrise she erased every lie they tried to place, but legends linger in that space where lived Dusty Grace. Train rolls slow, wind don't know where the restless women go. One last flame, one last chase. Dusty Grace. The church doors burned in the midnight rain. Candles flicker, but the pews feel pain. Hearts collide in the devil's glare. A twisted vow hangs in the air. Boots hit dirt and guns hang low. Every soul in the room moves slow. The preacher's eyes are shadowed and wide. Secrets hidden, nowhere to hide. They say love can lift you high, but some vows only make you die. A shotgun wedding in hell, every kiss another tale to tell, and every heart trapped in a flame, every vow that leads to shame. No mercy waits, no angel near, only the echo of fear. I can't escape, can't rebel. A shotgun wedding in hell. Crows wheel above, the bloodstained lawn, marking the sins before the dawn. Whiskey burns in a trembling hand, every promise falls like sand. The groom swears truth, the bride swears lies. Thunder crashes across the skies. Every aisle holds a curse unspoken, every vow leaves a soul broken. No heaven waits to make it right, only the night and the endless fright. A shotgun wedding in hell, every step another tolling bell, every lie, every regret, with every debt I can't forget. No light to guide, no hand to bless, only shadows and emptiness. I can't outrun, can't rebel. A shotgun wedding in hell. If I kneel beneath the flame so bright, will anyone forgive this night? Or will the devil take my name and drag me into endless blame? Some hearts break slow, some hearts betray, some men vanish and fade away. Still I ride through the hellish night, through the smoke, through the fight. Every mile a haunted song, every sin I carried along. No mercy waits, no light to bless, only the night and emptiness. I can't escape, can't rebel. A shotgun wedding in hell. Guns lay down, candles burn low, shadows linger where lost men go. One last vow, one last sigh. Shotgun wedding in hell. Sun sinks low on a rusted plow, same red dirt on my hands somehow. Granddaddy swore that land don't lie, but it don't forgive no matter how you cry.
Fence posts lean like tired men, counting years they can't defend. Every root runs deep and stays buried in that old red clay. You can wash your boots in the river's bend, but the stain comes back again. This is the ballad of old red clay, where the blood don't fade away. Every secret, every sin soaks right through the skin you're in. No matter how far you stray, it calls you back someday with a debt you have to pay. In the heart of old red clay. Mama cried on the courthouse steps, said, son, we all got our regrets. Sheriff's badge and a jury stare, but justice fell thin as air. There was a fight down by the creek, hot July and tempers weak. One wrong shove, one life betrayed. Now he sleeps in red clay shade. The wind through pines don't choose a side, it just carries what you hide. This is the ballad of old red clay, where the righteous kneel and pray, but the earth remembers names and it don't forget the blame. No cross can fully sway what the ground won't give away. Truth don't rot or decay. In the grip of old red clay. If I plant my hands in the ground, will forgiveness be found? If I dig where he was laid, will I unearth the price we paid? Some roots twist, some roots fray, some choke tied in red clay. Hear the ballad of old red clay tonight, under a pale magnolia light. Every field bends low and slow, like it knows what we don't show. No dawn can wash away what the dirt won't let you betray. Just blood beneath the gray, in the heart of old red clay. Footsteps slow, pine winds sway, dust and memory won't decay. One last prayer, no escape from the hole of old red clay. Sun sinks low, the sky's on fire. Ride along through mud and mire, boots worn thin, hands stained with sin.
Every mile drags me back within. Ghost of men I used to know whisper soft where the cold winds blow. Every town I pass in pain reminds me of the blood and rain. They said the road would set me free, but it only leads to misery. On the long road to perdition, every turn a lost ambition. Shadows cling to every stride, no angel walks here by my side. Every mile a broken vow, every step reminds me how I can't escape, I can't return on the long road to perdition. Old church doors creak and moan, empty pews I walk alone. Prayers I whispered in the night fell unheard in fading light. Barroom ghosts with hollow eyes know the price of foolish lies. Every trail, every sin confessed pulls me closer to unrest. No mercy waits at journey's end, only the sins you can't defend. On the long road to perdition, every mile a lost condition. Every shadow knows my name, every heartbeat fuels the flame. No dawn to save, no grace remains, only the weight of what remains. I can't outrun, I can't amend on the long road to perdition. If I fall upon my knees, will the wind carry my pleas? Or will the past forever cling like a chain I cannot bring? Some hearts burn slow and deep, some men never find their sleep. Still I ride the long road to perdition, through the fire, dust and contrition. Every mile a mournful song, every wrong I've carried along. No heaven waits, no light to mend, only the night that never ends. I can't escape, I can't defend on the long road to perdition. Wind whispers low, the horizon fades, moonlight guides the debts I've made. One last breath, one last sin, the road to perdition. Spanish moss hanging like a noose over water dark as truth. Cicadas cry in the humid night under a broken porch light. Bottle sweats in my callous hand, like a sinner who don't understand how love can slip right through like whiskey tears on the bayou. River don't care what you confess, it just pulls you deeper in the mess. There's whiskey tears on the bayou tonight, burning slow in the pale moonlight. Every sip tastes sweet then cruel, like drowning in a memory pool. No gospel left to guide me through, no promise I can hold on to, just ghosts and shades of blue and whiskey tears on the bayou. Whoa, out in a delta storm, barefoot hard and wildfire warm. Said you can't keep living this way, then she turned and walked away. Now her shadow haunts the pier, every ripple sounds like her, and the tide keeps pulling me toward what used to be. Thunder rolls without a sound, like regret that's always around. There's whiskey tears on the bayou again, mixing sorrow deep within. Every lie told for pride comes drifting back with the tide. No saint would stand in my shoes, no judge would call it good news, just a man with nothing to lose, and whiskey tears on the bayou. If I wade into that blackened stream, will it wash away the things I've seen? If I sink beneath the reeds, will it choke out all my needs? Some men break, some men bow, some just fade into the bayou. There's whiskey tears on the bayou tonight, under a sky with no mercy in sight. Every drop a slow goodbye to the love I let run dry. No sunrise feeling new, no faith I ever knew, just a heart split clean in two, whiskey tears on the bayou. Bottle low, river slow, moonlight on the undertow. One last drink, one last vow, whiskey tears on the bayou. Rows of gold beneath the sun look peaceful to everyone, but there's a place past the scarecrow's shield where the soil won't ever yield. Wooden crosses weather worn, hidden deep in the swaying corn. No preacher's words, no iron seal, just a graveyard in the cornfield. Wind moves slow like it knows their names, carries whispers through the grain. There's
There's a graveyard in the cornfield where the truth was never revealed. Every stone without a name, every root wrapped tight in shame. No bell toll, no last appeal, no wounds that time can heal, just bones beneath the wheel of a graveyard in the cornfield. Grandpa said don't walk that road after dusk when the cold winds blow. Said the land was bought with blood long before the harvest flood. One bad year and debts ran high, one dark night and 3 men died. Sheriff called it farmer's yield, but lies grow tall in a cornfield. Moonlight paints the stalks in white, like ghosts that stand upright. There's a graveyard in the cornfield where the devil signed the deal. Every secret planted deep still wakes the ones who cannot sleep. No plow strong enough to steal, no prayer left to kneel, just shadows that conceal the graveyard in the cornfield. If the harvest comes too soon, will it bring them to the moon? If the rain begins to fall, will it free them from it all? Some roots choke, some roots shield, some never leave the field. There's a graveyard in the cornfield tonight, under pale and broken light. Every stalk begins to sway, like the dead have found their way. No past we can repeal, no silence we can seal, just truth beneath the steel of a graveyard in the cornfield. Wind bends low, secrets grow under rose. We'll never know. One last breath, one last year. Graveyard in the cornfield. Heat rising off the river stones, midnight hum in San Antone, neon bleeding red and blue, like a sky that always knew. Boot heels tapping on cracked tile, tequila tears and a crooked smile, church bells ringing far from home, while I drown in San Antone. Mama said, boy, guard your soul, but the devil's got a steady hold. There's sin in San Antone tonight, burning slow in the borderline.
undertone, just a heart of stone. And sin in San Antone. She wore red like a warning sign, gold cross resting on her spine. Said she had a man back home, but she felt alone in San Antone. Sheriff's badge in a dusty frame, whispers riding on my name. One more drink and I'm too far gone to pretend I'll see the dawn. Every promise bends with heat on a dark and empty street. There's sin in San Antone again, where the saints don't always win. Every vow I swore to keep fell somewhere in the deep. No prayer carved in stone, no truth fully shown, just regrets overthrown by sin in San Antone. If the Rio could wash me clean, would it know what I have seen? If I kneel on chapel floor, will I crave a touch once more? Some hearts roam, some atone, some are claimed by San Antone. There's sin in San Antone tonight, under pale cathedral light. Every step a reckless tone, every seed of trouble sown. No heaven carved in bone, no peace I've ever known, just a soul that's overthrown by sin in San Antone. Riversides, morning skies, truth behind her alibis. One last kiss, one last moan. Sin in San Antone. Sun fell red on desert stone, shadows stretched through El Paso. Church bells rang like a warning sign for a heart that crossed the line. And dust blew in through a broken door, candles trembled on the chapel floor. Kneeling where the saints once stood, praying like a sinner should. Mama's cross around my neck feels heavier than my regret. This is the last prayer at El Paso
walking soft where the cold winds blow. Every sin I tried to hide, right shotgun by my side. No halo left to show, no mercy left to owe. Just a soul laid low in the last prayer in El Paso. She said we can leave tonight, cross that river for first light. But blood don't wash that clean from a fight gone mean. One man down on a barroom floor, one gunshot through a swinging door. I swear I never meant his name to echo in eternal flame. Sirens cry beyond the hill, heaven's quiet, desert still. It's the last prayer in El Paso before I face what I already know. Every vow I broke into leads me back to you. No preacher steady flow, no absolution slow, just the shadows glow in the last prayer in El Paso. If I run, I lose my soul. If I stay, I lose it whole. If love's worth the sacrifice, why's it dressed in sacrifice? Some men kneel, some men go, some men pay in El Paso. This is the last prayer in El Paso tonight, under pale cathedral light. Every breath of borrowed grace, every tear upon her face. No safe road left to show, no dawn that won't forego. Just faith, moving slow through the last prayer in El Paso. Wind drifts low, church bells slow, footsteps in the portico. One last sign, one last vow. Lord, forgive me now. Black lace gloves and a silver chain, perfume sweet like summer rain. She walked in slow through the neon glare, with a ghost of sorrow in her stare. Jukebox cried an old slow tune about a love that ended too soon. Men fell quiet, hats in hand,
when she stepped onto the floor to stand. They said her husband's in the ground, but his memory's still hanging around. It's the widow's last dance tonight, spinning slow in the pale bar light. Every step across that floor echoes what she won't say anymore. No white dress, no second chance, just shadows and a slow romance. She's moving like she's in a trance in the widow's last dance. He was mean with a jealous hand, quick to strike, slow to understand. Storm rolled in on a thundered sky, gunshot cracked and a man did die. They ruled it self-defense in town, but whispers never settled down. Every stair cuts like broken glass as she lets another stranger pass. Truth's a coin with a crooked bend, depends who tells it in the end. It's a widow's last dance again, with a heart that won't pretend. Every turn beneath that light feels like wrong, but looks so right. No veil left to enhance, no preacher's stern advance, just freedom wrapped in circumstance in the widow's last dance. Did she pull that trigger clean, or was it fate that pulled between? If love can bruise and love can bind, who decides the guilt to mine? Some rings rust, some rings crack, some women never look back. It's the widow's last dance tonight, where revenge and mercy fight. Every sway a soft goodbye to the tears. She'll never cry, no chains left to entrench, no fear left to entrench. Just a woman who took her stance in the widow's last dance. Music slows, curtain close, smoke drifts where the lonely goes. One last spin, one last glance, the widow's last dance.
There's a lantern burning low tonight, casting halos on these jailhouse lines. Ink runs slow like a guilty vein on this page that bears my name. Wooden beams above my head whisper things the warden said. Dawn comes quick, boy, best confess, but dawn don't care for loneliness. Chains may hold these hands of mine, but memory's the cruelest bind. This is a letter from the noose, written where the air grows loose. Every word I never spoke hangs heavier than this road. No judge left to accuse, no lies left to excuse, just truth I can't refuse. In a letter from the news. Mama, I was young and wild, more your storm than your child. I chased pride with loaded steel, never thought the wound was real. To the man I lay to rest, I swear I never meant your death. Anger's quick and bullets fly, now I learn how cowards die. Footsteps echo down the hall like a hammer for the fall. This is a letter from the news to the love I turn loose. If tears could cut these ties, I'd drown beneath your eyes. No pardon coming through, no sky turning blue, just mourning dressed in bruise. With a letter from the news. If there's mercy past this beam, let it wake me from this dream. If there's fire instead of light, I've been burning every night. Some men live and never choose, some men swing for what they lose. Here's my letter from the news, every truth turned loose. I was wrong, I was blind, left too much love behind. No footsteps left to use, no more time to lose. Hear the last words of a fool in a letter from the news. Footsteps slow, cold wind blows. First light through the gallows shows one last breath, one last view. This letter swings with me and you.
snakes in a pale disguise, ash gray sky, no lullabies. Church bell rings like a warning sign, 6 feet down that wooden pine. Boot heels sink in red clay ground, no one dares to make a sound. Roses will where tears won't fall, truth is buried under it all. We dressed in black, but the guilt wore white, shining cruel in the early light. It's a black casket sunrise, cold truth in our eyes. Every shadow stretched too long, like we knew it all along. No hallelujah, no surprise, just a coffin and alibis. The day begins, but something dies in a black casket sunrise. Preacher spoke of mercy's hand, said the Lord would understand. But the widow's stare cut sharp and thin, like she could see beneath my skin. Pallbearers with shaking hands carried more than one man, lowered slow with whispered lies underneath them quiet skies. They called it fate, they called it fate, but I still hear that iron gate. It's a black casket sunrise, smoke drifting to the skies. Every promise dressed in lace couldn't hide the truth we face. No forgiveness in disguise, no peace behind closed eyes. The rooster crows, the raven cries at a black casket sunrise. If I confess before nightfall, will it break or save us all? Or will the daylight burn away every word I try to say? Some sins sleep, some sins rise with the morning's cold surprise. It's a black casket sunrise, where redemption slowly dies. Every step across that field felt like something being revealed. No choir strong enough to rise above the weight of hidden ties. The sun came up on buried lies in a black casket sunrise. Bell fades low, wind don't blow, secrets only mourners know. One last prayer, one last sigh, black casket, sunrise.
There's a bend in the river past Miller's farm, where the water runs deep and the night stays warm. Cicadas cry like a courtroom choir underneath that southern sky of fire. Boot prints fade in the muddy shore, like they've been there once before. Moonlight cuts like a sharp-edged blade on the promises we never made. You can bury truth in shifting sand, but the river knows where you stand. It's as my cold river confession, washed in guilt and depression. Every lie I tried to drown still comes floating back around. No preacher, no redemption, just the tide of my reflection. I can't outrun what I did then in this cold river confession. We were young and reckless, wild. He had a temper like a loaded rifle. One hard shove, one desperate breath, one wrong step that whispered death. Sheriff's lights in the distance glow, but the river kept it quite below. I told the world it was a fall, but the water heard it all. Years roll by like drifting leaves, but silence never lets you leave. This is my cold river confession, heavy as divine discretion. Every dream I built on lies still looks at me with open eyes. No mercy in reflection, no holy intervention, just a heart that won't pretend in this cold river confession. If I wade into that midnight stream, will it wake me from this dream? Will the current pull me clean or drag me where he's been? Some sins sink, some sins rise, some just live behind your eyes. Here's my cold river confession, spoken without protection. Every word I never said echoes louder in my head. No judge, no resurrection, only truth in its direction. I finally face what happened then in this cold river confession. Water rolls slow, moon hangs low, secrets only rivers know. One last spread, one last breeze,